But what's left is life without seeking. Because, as they say when it flips, seeking is desperate. It's painful. Because I don't have what others have. I want something I don't have. Maybe I'm not good enough to get it. But if it flips and you start looking in your own experience, in your own present state, then the desperation falls away. That's all. It's all still here, but the desperation is no longer there. Then you need to run away from it.
All right, Ilona Ciunaite, thank you so much for joining us on the channel today. We've been taking a look at some of your channel there. You got a lot of great stuff there on self-inquiry, spiritual awakening, and inner peace. You have these amazing dialogues with people out there. And I'm curious how this all began for you. Maybe you could give us a little bit of a backdrop on your story.
Well, thank you so much for inviting me. It's such a pleasure to be with you. Great to meet you guys. And thank you for the question. Well, it all started many years ago. Long, long time ago, in 2010, I read a book called Spiritual Awakening by Jed McKenna. And that was really like a huge awakening for me, because what I thought I knew was not true. And it hit me hard. And I wanted to find the truth, what is the truth? So I was searching, I was looking, and eventually there was the last question that they asked. And that question didn't come from my head. Somebody else showed me that question. And the question was as simple as, is there Ilona running the show? But as soon as I asked that question, it was like, what? Oh, I never asked that before, because the answer was just there. It was staring in the face. There was nothing there. Nobody running the show. Life is free flowing, events, experiences, feelings, thoughts, and everything, but there is nobody there, as I thought there was, running the show. So when I saw that, I thought, wow, that's cool. Everyone's looking for this. They just don't know how to find it. Or they don't even know that this can be found. And yeah, that was the early 2011 that I started sharing this message on Facebook, in groups, and found some people who were into this as well. And that's how it started. Really, that was one question that made a difference in my life. And I wanted to invite everyone to also find that freedom which comes with that, seeing that there's nobody running the show.
Is there anybody there? Is anybody got a somebody? Can anyone ask that question and then actually have it and find the answer? Like I'm saying, you ask is Ilona running the show? And then if I'm gathering this correctly from what you said, you asked the question, and the answer was Ilona was not running the show.
There was nobody there.
There was nobody there, and so I'm sort of tongue in cheek asking, "Is anybody there for anyone?" When somebody asks that,
hello?
is there somebody there? There might be a response. I'm just asking. What's your response?
The response is the silence or the absence. That is if you take that for the response, that's it. If you come to a friend, let's say you come to James' house and you knock on the door, nobody's answering. How do you know he's not there? Knock, knock. Nobody's answering.
Yeah, no one coming to the
door. That's how you know. There's nobody there.
I'm curious with this stuff because I listen to a lot of the people who come on your show and ask you questions about this stuff. And there seems to be a frustration behind things, because I feel like for some people who are spiritually awakened, this comes very easy to them naturally for some reason, while other people, the second they get a glimpse of what you're talking about, there's this reconstruction that almost takes place immediately after it. Why is it that it seems some people seem to be able to see this more clearly than others.
We are all different and our systems are wired differently, like a human being. And
Yeah.
some people done a lot of work. Some people had it easy, or some people had it really traumatic life. And it all depends on how many practices, what they did before, how easy it is. But it's not like a rule. There are people that get curious about it and see it.
Yeah.
But there are also people who have a glimpse of too and don't know what happened. And there is no language about it. There is no nobody to speak with about it. It's a strange thing. But it's like when there is an opening, when there is a seeing, the system is designed to keep itself coherent with itself. The identity, what we call identity, what is it? It's the thoughts, feelings, behavior, all the stories, all the patterns, all the conditioning, and that's what we call identity. So that identity is there. It's saying that I'm here. This is here. It's just doing its thing. I'm not that. I'm not it.
So many
So that
identities.
one,
Sorry,
sorry, yeah.
so many identities, and I'm subject to this little quirk. Is so many identities uh, misguidedly think that they're unique, misguidedly think that there's something unique going on with them. Like, and of course there is in a sense, but I'm saying uh, I feel like when phrases like "there's nobody there" or you when you were describing what makes up a lot of these like characters and identities that come forward, like trauma and conditioning and stuff like that, like every now and then I'll kind of be like, well, why am I behaving the way I behave, you know what I mean? And then there's almost a temptation to honor what's been crafted, the jigsaw piece that's been whittled down to fit into this thing. And it is what it is in a nutshell. Like, it's real tempting for the ego to always reestablish itself as like some vector on the graph. You know what I mean? And it's gonna, and in my experience, it's just gonna do that. It doesn't even matter if it's like, well, like I know a little bit about what it's like to from a not disassociated state, but like an actual intimate with reality, grounded state, just sort of be and see the ego structure and see the personality and identity and stuff like that. But its conditioning is relentless. Like, I'm doing it right now. I'm being responsive. And it's real tempting to think that there's something unique about that. But I find that if you're brave enough to do it, to look at yourself more objectively than that can be effective, can be helpful in this. Try to look for why it's not the case, that evidence of non-specialness in some sense, I think, can be a little bit of a pointer. It might be too convoluted, what I'm saying. It might be too much added on to a far simpler process.
You know what?
But I wonder
Yes,
often.
there's this word special, right? But
Yeah.
uniqueness is something else. Uniqueness is not special. It's just everything is unique.
Yes.
It's not
Yes. Yeah.
special.
Yeah. Yeah. And I suppose what I'm really saying is I wonder why some people present in some ways and some people present in other ways. Like I watched the interview you did with Angelo. I just watched a part of it, and oftentimes it's like really compelling, seeing two people get together and they're calm and they're measured and they're reflecting wisdom and health and a peace, like peacefulness. And then I consider myself and the way I am and the kind of like, smart ass I usually pull forward. And when I'm philosophizing, there's a lot of like paradox I like to play around with. And then I even think about people that have practiced spirituality over time that have had extreme quirks, like, they've been like an open alcoholic, or they've been they actually engage in rage every now and then. Like this one Zen master would have a fit or something like that, or maybe they hit their disciples or something. And it's like that's not it. Like some people are. It seems like they're naturally they reflect a peacefulness, and oh, maybe you could just talk about that. Maybe you could talk about the embodiment of peace versus somebody that's still acting out or playing out clearly old, uh, like conditioned by trauma characteristics.
Mm. Good question. Well, as I said, this bundle, what we call me, it's here. It's just going out, meeting people, doing its work, and playing in the world. But when you see that this is not what I am, these thoughts is not what I am, these feelings is not what I am, the sense of me or the sense of self is not what I am. The real question then is, what am I? Or what am I really? And that again brings into that silence, into that backdrop, where it's just openness, space, peace, being. But then again, we go into this. I'm like, oh, now I'm looking through these glasses and seeing world through me. That's me. I'm talking, right? But when that seeing happens, there is a distance, which can always be checked on and checked out. But yeah, that personality is doing its thing, and the system wants to keep itself safe, doesn't like to be dismantled, and the beliefs want to keep themselves all attached to each other, because otherwise, the whole structure has to rebuild itself. So the moment of seeing is a moment of when the deconstruction starts happening.
It's a cycle that seems to repeat itself. A dismantling, and then, like, for some people it seems like the dismantling happens and then they rest in abiding awareness. For some of us, it seems like the pattern repeats. It's like a dismantling process happens and then a restructuring. A spiritual ego is recreated and then it's dismantled over and over again. Like, that's probably true for me.
Yeah. That's why I asked the question about it. I mean, it's something that it's a complex issue. It seems like some people are abiding in this awareness more consistently than others.
And that's how it appears, because we don't know how much work they've done or where they came from, how they grew up.
That's
but
true.
If you look at it like a layer cake, right? Lots of layers. Then when the space opens, we see the top layer, right? That layer gets eaten or gets resolved. There's the next layer. That gets resolved, and there is the next layer. So we're just working our way through all these layers of.
So from your understanding, does it have to be that way, or could there be someone who's more inclined that they receive this and there's like a getting it or something that is faster? Like they just again, I feel like some people have these moments. They go to one retreat and they have an awakening that changes them forever, while others seem to be on this path for 10 years. 20 years.
But how do you know that?
Yeah. I don't.
We don't know that. I speak to seekers every day for the last 14 years. I never seen anyone getting it, and here you go, hallelujah. Miracle. Never happened. There is a moments of expansion. There is moments coming back into conditioning and doing the work and clearing and experience of all kinds of, I would say, cosmic washing machine process where you're getting cleaned. And then there's more expansion again, and then happy, blissful moments again. But it's not like once expansion happens, that's it. We keep moving, keep living. That's my experience.
If you're comfortable me referring to it, I'll be vague and we can cut it if it's not good. But I want to consider where you've chosen to dwell for a moment, if that's okay, like without giving too many details about where you're at. Is that all right? Like you're living. So, you described living in somewhere that sounds kind of like a nice climate and a somewhat remote
type of location compared to many of us that live mainland in the West or something.
Yes.
And I think about the baseline given environment of that. Like not everybody lives in the same conditions. Like some people live in literally war-torn countries, or some people live in maybe a gated, nice, eloquent community, but there's a undercurrent of hostility and competition in there. Or somebody lives in an impoverished area where the values are just a little bit different. And so the characters that emerge, you know what I mean? If somebody strolled into town and they were, you know, calmly looking at each other, like that might be even interpreted a certain way. And I guess in a nutshell, what I'm saying is I'm sort of fixated on behavior as a result of awakening. And so much of what constitutes behavior is environment, in my opinion. Like it's a big thing. Like if you live in an English speaking community, you speak English. That's a direct, overt example. But it also affects face pulling and what kind of gestures and what kind of mannerisms are acceptable. And I'm sort of going back. I'm repeating the same thing I initially was saying, because I'm trying to circle and corner the notion of behavior, outward displays of whatever has happened. Because at the end of the day, the experience of enlightenment, of all the things that there could be, has got to be like number one for it's personal. Like this is something that you, at the end of the day, the individual will know the reality of it or not. So what can you say about behavior? Like, what can you say about somebody who, say you encounter somebody that doesn't even know anything about spirituality, and they're kind of cantankerous, they're kind of a grouch, they're salty, they're abrasive, but they're not even interested in enlightenment, and they're doing things like an enlightened person would do. Like they're not seem to be suffering all the time, or they're not seem to be they seem to have gathered something that other people that maybe spent a decade in a monastery take to understand. What role does behavior and conditioning play in this? You know what I mean? Like, is there anything that's appropriate to do? Is it like once you're awakened, you better start being peaceful. You better start embodying peace, or else it's not real. Like, is that like,
that's such a joke?
It's
that's
such
what
a
people
joke.
Think.
It's a joke. That's how people think. But I actually think it's a valid question. You know, because people might be confused on how things appear.
Yeah. Okay. It's difficult to answer that because everyone's unique, right? So I can only speak from my own experience from my life, and also what I see in people I work with. But the identity, that bundle that we think is me, doesn't awaken. That is just a dead thing. No, it doesn't awaken. Whatever conditioning was there is still there.
It's still there, even.
Of course. Where would it go? It's been programmed, like your computer programs running. It's just running. What changes, really, is the relationship with that bundle. Because it's seen from a different place. It's not seen from here. It's seen from here. Like you can see it. And that person there, that doesn't exist, cannot awaken. That's the tricky thing. It cannot awaken. It doesn't even exist.
It doesn't even exist.
But what you are, it doesn't even exist.
Well, what is it then?
It's just patterns, thoughts, emotions, behavior, feedback loop. Thoughts, feelings come up, actions happen. More thoughts, more feelings, more actions. And it's like a loop. It's like a spinning fan. You know, fan? When it has blades, and you can see blades when it's switched off, but once you plug it in, you don't see the blades anymore. You see a disc, but the disc is not there. Mm-hmm. It seems like there is. So that bundle cannot awaken, but it starts to get dismantled. But it doesn't get dismantled, how to say, just by accident. there's also awareness and seeing what is there that helps it to start opening up. So when you're looking from this place, that I am this me, world around me, life is happening to me, it's like sitting in a jar and trying to read the label. But the label is outside, kind of have to step out of it to see it.
Mm-hmm.
So this recognition or seeing that, meeting that silence of stillness the first time or second time or 100th time, it's like getting out of the jar and seeing what else is here. So that is not asleep. It doesn't awaken. But that movement is what we call awakening. Out of the jar into this.
Do you ever get cringed out? Like, do you speak to audiences? Like, do you speak to groups of people? Because, like, do you ever go in front of people and teach and speak? I should probably know this, but I actually don't know that much about you.
Not in person, only on Zoom.
On Zoom,
But
I wonder sometimes at like the big hitters. You know what I mean? Like
Rupert Spiras.
Yeah, the Rupert Spiras, the Gangajis, and the Adyashantis. If they're ever like go to one of their retreats or something, and they're like thoroughly cringed out by all the aping that goes on, because there's something appealing. Like I look with a lot of admiration for people that are chilled out, because I'm often not chill, and
Do you want to get chilled?
Well, it's funny. Like, I was watching this movie Eden on Amazon Prime, and these people they go off to try to build a utopia for themselves on a remote island. And there's all types of people there, and there's like one of the people that there is like consumed with like I don't know, they're just hyper competitive and status driven. And they, at one point in the movie, you see this person look over at a more earnest individual, and the earnest individual's crying at some beautiful music. And so the competitive sort of ego-driven person wets their eyes when no one's looking to look like they're crying and moved by it too. And sometimes we judge that in culture, but it's like there's no character that didn't emerge from conditionings and for reasons. It's like all these characters and identities, they emerge for good reason. You know, they're there for everything from intellectual capacity to trauma to the rules of the culture to all these different things. But when you see through it, if you actually do see through all of it, I wonder if it's just only met with compassion and understanding and empathy, or if every now and then it gets a little cringy. You know, like, why does anyone pick anyone? Why does anyone ever settle on a character? Why? And sorry, to respond to your question, do I want to be chill? Yeah, sometimes I want to be chill. I want to be more chill. And I realize that a big part of that is just a choice. But lo and behold, I keep coming forward. This other type of character keeps emerging.
Yeah, that's okay. But the chilling is not that this character is doing something different. Chilling is seeing that it's okay.
Mm-hmm. It's okay.
Whatever is going on, there's nothing wrong with you. There's nothing wrong with anyone.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
That's what everyone is looking for. To know that I'm okay. I can be relaxed in my own skin, in my own life, in my own being.
You're complete.
That's what everyone's looking for.
You're complete. There's nothing to get to. It's fine. Those are, and
you can feel
really
what you're feeling.
Not naturally adopted in our culture.
Yeah.
Those qualities.
Well, there seems to be a lot of resistance here after listening to a bunch of your conversations with some of the people that talk to you on your channel. Some people were saying, like, I still want my suffering. Like, is that part of the problem here?
I love how honest that is.
I know. I was like, a lot of people, and I love that person said that. And I have to say that's the truth about some of the things within myself. There's things that I'm doing that cause me suffering, but I don't want to give it up. But I also want all the benefits and all the good things of that, you know, spiritual awakening may entail, right? So it's like, what are you choosing here? Yeah,
I love that.
This system is built to protect itself, as I mentioned before. It doesn't want to change, but there is a part that knows they can be different, and it wants that deep peace. It wants that love Now there is a tension between those two. And if you have that longing inside your heart that is loud and clear, you start listening to that, then it doesn't matter if the system crumbles or just dismantled. You just want that.
Yeah.
And then you know that this is not you. So it's easier to let that go. It's easier to see these patterns. Like, oh, that's what my dad used to do all the time. I see now. I don't need that anymore.
Oh yeah.
It's like that.
Yeah. That's disturbing when you start seeing all your parents' characteristics, like not just your dad, your mom and your dad, whether you're boy or male or female. You can say, oh, that's why I'm doing that. You know, that's a shadow of that. That's a shadow of their thing. You know what I mean?
So it's awakening to that. It's not awakening from that. It's awakening to
it.
Whatever's here. To
whatever's here. Yeah.
Becoming aware. In other words, starting seeing it consciously, these patterns, and knowing that this is not what I am. It's easier.
I think that there's something so valuable in what you said, and what that person said about, like, even if it's shaky or incomplete or whatever it is, I love the rawness of a statement, like how vulnerable and like deserving of some kind of an insight, somebody that's willing to say, I want my suffering. You know, I recognize that there's some part of me that wants my suffering. I feel like so many people are struggling to get to that kind of transparency, or are struggling to get to that kind of recognition of, like, that's part of what's going on, is a unchecked desire for suffering. Not like a straight up desire for suffering, but just an understanding that that's involved with a lot of these patterns that we live out, is like cycles of suffering.
I'm sure there's a mixture of fear in here about, like, I don't want to lose the story. I don't want to lose what I got going on here.
Yeah. This is a story of being unsafe. And this is the main thing that we really need to see, that you are safe right now and it's okay. But our minds are biologically wired to predict the future based on the past experiences and interpretations of experiences. So it doesn't want what happened in the past to repeat in the future. So it always goes in and predicts what the future will be in order to be safe. And you know what's the craziest thing? That the fear that we feel is the fear of feeling. It's not something will happen, but it's how we're going to feel if that something will happen. It's a fear of feeling.
What can people do to make room for this and let go of their control freak natures? What can we do to just make room?
Well, first of all, are you safe right now? This is the key. Are you safe right now? Just asking this question. How do you know that? How do you know that?
I don't.
Yeah, but you see that there is no danger. There's nothing threatening. It's kind of self-evident.
But couldn't a person, if somebody was in a battlefield and they were, you know, they had actually time to ask themselves, there's bullets whizzing by their head, and they go, am I safe?
Right. Let's not go there, because, you know, if you really want to know, the life will bring you a situation.
Okay, but that's true. You know, I don't want to be like lead myself into like some deep understanding of that question. I suppose what I'm saying,
because we can only speak from experience, not hypothetically, not theoretically. That's the thing. We only have our own experience that we know.
Right.
So the safety is not in the thoughts about some hypothetical scenario. It's checking in this moment. Are you safe right now? That's number one thing. The second thing is it safe to feel what I'm feeling right now? Whatever that is. And here you don't need to be in a battlefield. You can be dreading your office meeting tomorrow and feeling unsafe. But is it safe to feel that?
Yeah.
Is it safe to feel this intensity or this depth or this horrible, negative emotions. That's what the safety is. Because if you get that, it's safe to feel. Your mind doesn't need to go and protect you from the future feeling.
Can we talk about hypotheticals?
Sure.
So what I mean by that is, I only want to talk about it because it's there. Because it's there. Like we're clearly not in a battlefield right now. That's not what's going on. But the fact that's like, I see the merit in going, let's not go there. Like, for so much of my life, that's exactly where I already have been over that ground of, wait a sec, somebody said let's not go there. Let's go there. You know.
Okay, let's go there. Fine. Sure.
And so for old time's sake, I just want to say I'm trying to embrace what you said about not going there, because my natural response so often is to go there. Like I don't want to talk about my too much in detail about my actual what I've done for certain tasks and jobs in this life that involved going into situations like that. But that has been my natural response for a good chunk of my life, is to go headlong into the area that you're actually not supposed to.
It's not like you're not supposed to, but what's the use of it? Like, is it helping?
But what is the use of it, though? Why do people do that?
Is it helping?
I don't know.
I think people run the scenarios because that's the part of it tied into the survival mechanism, right? They're running all those negative scenarios so that if the potential of something happening, right?
Well, some people are emergency room surgeons. Like, some people are firefighters. Some people are those white helmet guys that go into disaster zones and literally pull out people out of rubble. Yeah. Like, go into dangerous situations. Like, that's literally something.
You're speaking for the people who maybe even be watching this that are like, hey, like, that's all fine and dandy what you're talking about, but like, I do this thing every day, right? Is that who?
And while at the same time trying to honor what you said. Like, it's a weird thing that I'm doing. I'm saying I actually think it's effective to go set that aside right now. Is everything okay now? But in the moment of recognizing that you're safe, even right now, a thought may emerge that beckons for you to indulge it. Or you might actually have something in real time emerge. These are all hypotheticals, right? And they can always be met with.
But this is the conditioning that we talked about. That's how the mind is conditioned.
Yes.
It doesn't want to stay here now because there's nothing to do.
So what's the value of what's the value of the conditioning? There's clearly value to it.
Yeah, well, we live human life. We meet people. We need to know how to behave, what to say. It's conditioning.
Yeah, but at the end of the day.
But if you want to feel safe, you don't go into imagined futures. You check what is here right now.
Yeah, I actually think that if you saw this clearly, like this is just a potential, just to satisfy anybody that feels like this has not been satisfied. I feel like if you actually lived this, embodied it, realized it was realized within you, that you might actually even be able to be on a battlefield and still carry that kind of awareness and peace. Then it's a hypothetical. We can forget about it after this. But yeah. I'm saying, I think if it was fully embodied, it would transfer over even to extreme situations that the mind wants to wrestle with and wants to philosophize about endlessly. I think it can be satisfied by realizing, like, well, that's not what's going on right now. So let's meet ourselves where we're at, and we're safe right now. Take that with you. It's occurring right now. Right now is the only time happening.
Yes, there is no future. In that way, there's right now, and the safety and the exit out of these loops is through recognition that it's safe to feel whatever you're feeling.
Whatever you're feeling.
Even feeling unsafe is safe to feel.
Yeah. Well, you're definitely communicating something which appears to be complex, but you may laugh at that. I don't know, but the with all the people that you've talked to, different spiritual teachers and stuff like that. What have you found is kind of like the best method or something that you found the most success with when trying to communicate what you're talking about here with?
It's a great question. See, we can only speak to people at the level where they are at the openness that you are at. So if somebody comes in and just wants to chat about it, you speak in one way. If somebody is really looking and really trying to get it, you speak a different way. But it's like meeting what is here with your presence, meeting with your awareness, and knowing that everything's okay, everything's allowed, and what works is looking, not thinking, not chatting, not trying, not reading, looking. That's the key of the keys. But nobody knows how to look, where to look, what to see, because it's so always here. It's like a white noise. It's always here. We don't hear it. We don't pay attention to it because it's always here. So it takes some amount of focused attention and also readiness and willingness to see. Just stopping. That's when it becomes clear. But you cannot tell that to just people on the street because they're not there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But if somebody is listening here and want to get something from it, it's like we all have our own experience, and this is where to look. What is true in this moment.
Yeah. There seems to be more and more people like yourself emerging on the scene. And at the exact same time, it seems like with social media and the zeitgeist, the current political tensions, everything that's going on, it seems like two things are happening at once. Do you have any thoughts on like the state of the world, spiritual awakening, how it fits in, what's going on right now?
Yeah, I have many thoughts. That just me. Let me download them because they are just ready somewhere there. I just need to wait for them to come in. Okay. I have a visual aid. Like there's a stick and there are two ends. Yeah. Negative, positive, white, black, tension, peace, war, love, hate. Everything is like on the same stick. And it's just various degrees of that. Right? So sometimes this end comes up, sometimes that end comes up. We don't see everything. We assume like if everything is bad, that means there is no good. But that end didn't disappear. It's still here. So it all goes in waves and it's just showing up in various degrees. That's life. It's got its pulse, it's got its movement, it's what you pay attention, that's what becomes more visible, right? So whatever is going on in the world on negative side, there is as much going on in the positive side. It cannot be otherwise because it's all in balance, like yin yang, symbol yin yang. The whole contains the white and the black and the black and the white and the white and the black. It's complete.
So in a way,
if people
like,
think that this is everything is going wrong, it's just as much everything is going right.
Yeah. I'm just we, like I said, or Justin mentioned earlier, we had done an episode recently about like what a utopian society might look like for humanity. Is that something that's possible, considering that it sounds like there almost has to be a negative for whatever positives going on? Does that mean humanity's will continue to have its struggles, maybe in a different, it'll be different as it evolves with technology and everything goes on, but will it always be that way?
I think it's always been that way.
Yeah.
And it will continue to be that way. And what makes a hero strong? What makes a hero strong? Like adversity? A hero in the story, an enemy.
Or an enemy, yeah.
A nemesis.
Yeah.
Somebody to fight with. Then
I don't want to have any enemies.
Yeah, but you're in the enemies.
Like What's that?
your inner enemies. You always need to have some enemies to become a hero.
Some people don't seem to have too many, and some people have a lot.
Maybe they made peace. Maybe they are still fighting, but it's okay. It's all okay.
Okay, so
but there's always white and black and this opposites having a dance.
Some people are all white and some people are all black. So do you have preferences then?
For peace? Sure. I do.
So if preferences emerge, and you can say something about preferences, like, are there people that you shift yourself away from, or people you gravitate towards from your state of consciousness?
Sure.
That, to me, that reflects a little bit of a kind of a scalable hierarchy, or a value distinction, or something like that. And you know, I don't know. Can we talk about that?
Yeah. Right. What if everything that is happening around or outside in your experience, I'm not talking hypothetical, in experience, is a reflection of your inner state?
What if?
Like a mirror. Yeah, what if everything that is happening in your life is a reflection of your inner state, of your beliefs, of your preferences, of your ideas?
What if you're a reflection of everything outside of you?
Everything reflects about you.
But what if you invert it? What if who you end up being is a reflection of everything that's going on?
For them, but for you.
Everything There's no difference
that is
between
happening.
Them and you. There's no difference.
Yes, in the mind there is a difference because the mind imagines me and the other. But in experience, there is only this experience.
Yeah.
Yeah. So everyone that you meet and every situation that happens is reflecting to you, about your inner state. Like what you believe, that's what you see.
If you had some grotesque infirmity and you were walking through a village and everybody was turning away from you, or clearly behaving differently towards you than the king who strolls by, who gets his ring kissed by every passerby, that would be a reflection of, you would become the embodiment of the reflection of others unless you were stubborn. And if you were stubborn, they might kill you or put you in some kind of sanatorium, like insane asylum. Like, he doesn't get it. We tried to tell him he was Quasimodo and he kept walking around like he was Jesus. So we committed him. Or there's ways of making people fit the paradigm we all agree is true.
Nice movie.
Yeah, but it feels like a reality for a lot of us, you know, like sometimes I call, maybe very egoically, I say, like, this reality is such a fun house of surprises. Because just when I think things are a way, it surprises me, and it's another way. And that's the nature of psychology oftentimes. Like, the nature of psychology is reverse psychology. It's like you're going to have a hard time finding a mate if you're sweating desperately. The person that wants a mate so bad is going to put everybody off. But if you genuinely are aloof and don't care so much, that can become compelling and attractive, counter everythingly.
Well, yes, that's exactly what I mean by it's a reflection. If you are content and happy, then the world will show up in that way.
Yes, yeah,
and but
that's a trick, and it's not as though that can't be interrupted. You know, if I start to value the peace that comes from being in an awakened, abiding sort of gentle, non-warlike, non-confrontational, non-exhausting all my processing power state, sitting and philosophizing, if I stay peaceful, is that not like a preference I've now been the same preference that I might have for candy, or the same preference I might have for a sugar spike or something like that? It seems non-integrative. Integration would be the enlightened person that does find himself possibly in the Bhagavad Gita, like on a battlefield ready to go do war, but that didn't stop. That doesn't stop it's not a behavior. It's not a controlled character that emerges. It's a genuine understanding that I again, from the beginning, I say at the end of the day, only the individual would know whether or not it's true. Like, there's a story. This is going to be a real paraphrase, okay? But I heard once that there was this guy that was a public speaker, and he was a curmudgeon. Like, he would go to things, and he was always like vitriolic. He spit a lot of criticism, and he was vitriolic, and he was a salty character. And then somebody on his time off, not speaking to people, saw him in a local pub, like dancing free and having a good time. And they go, "What the hell? You're this character that goes around from town to town judging everybody and whatever the case is." And he goes, "Yeah, that's for them. This is for me." You know what I mean? Like, it was like, the reality is, in a nutshell, like, don't believe everything you see. Like, sometimes there's going to be somebody they've honed the magic trick. This is the prestige of magic tricks. You'll never see them perturbed. And it's not real. And then you might see somebody that guy must be miserable as hell. And it's not necessarily the case. Only the inner world would know that. But the reason why somebody might present as aggressive or unsettled, and the reason why somebody might be calm as a cucumber, are for reasons. Are for still conditioned reasons. It just doesn't you know what I mean? Have I lost you guys?
Yeah,
do you know what I'm talking about, anybody?
I hear you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
It's all like, for example, why does it rain? There are many reasons and conditions why it rains. So why am I calm? There are many reasons and conditions that I'm calm. Or why am I angry? There are many reasons and conditions that I'm angry in this moment. It's all flowing. It's not like one thing.
I love it. I love it, and it's a little sad. There's a part of me that's sad because it's a call to be genuine, kind of, in my opinion. And sometimes situations are just what they are, you know what I mean? Like, I suppose any situation can be met with grace and understanding and wisdom, but
when it hurts, it hurts. It doesn't matter what you call yourself.
Yeah. But it's funny because I think with a little bit of freedom, you can see things that hurt, and you can see why you've categorized or distinguished them as even a negative, even something that hurts. You know, like, I think about some of my earliest memories being taught as a little kid, and my mom used to say, "That's yucky." Like, if I was getting into something, you know what I mean, playing with something gross, she'd be like, "Yucky, bad." And we're taught all this stuff that, like, it's bad to feel bad. You know, oftentimes men, the classic thing is men are told they can't cry, or they're supposed to be tough, and I'm like, you're gonna make a generation of sociopaths. Let them cry, for Pete's sake. You know what I mean? Like, you could potentially make people sociopath, like detached from emotion. You know, why is crying bad? Why is sadness bad? Why is heartbreak even really? Why is it categorized as bad?
Deep question, that is. It's because we don't like it, so it's bad.
Why don't we like it? Why do we like it?
It doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good.
Sometimes after a good cry, you can feel good.
Yeah.
There can be some release in tension. You know,
some people do things that the rest of us deem doesn't feel good, and they do that. Like, you know, whatever, casual, like, for fun. You know what I mean? Like, some people engage in things that are, from our collective perspective, bad or not feel good, and that's like their jam. That's like what some people do.
That's being trapped in their conditioning, and not even knowing that it's optional. Why do you keep doing things that you think it's bad for you? It's just automatic.
Conflict of interest.
It's not like you decided.
That's like,
but the system is set to do that. That's it. It's just doing what it's doing.
But it's also kind of like a insane conflict of interests. It to me, it speaks of that's a mind categorizable like phenomenon. Is like, why would you do something that you don't like, or why would you do something that goes against what you know to be good or right or what you prefer or something like that? That's like somebody with more than one identity going on in their head. You know I mean? Working against
it's not just one
Bible
identity.
Verse, there's not just one, right? It's like a tribe. And I think of an old Bible verse where one of the disciples is, after Jesus has passed, he's saying, why do I do the things I don't want to do? I don't do the things I want to do. And I go, so many of us are like that. That's like so many, because we got conditionings, and we've got multiple characters rattling around in our head with different vested interests in different things.
Yeah. If you look at your computer, right? Like, let's say it's Windows. There are so many programs installed, and maybe there is a virus and it's just doing stuff that it's doing. It's not positive or negative. It's just there.
Yeah.
So there is a conflict in the system, and it's showing up because it starts slow, it doesn't do what you want to do, or doesn't shut down when you tell it shut down. There's something is wrong. But these programs, they don't know, they are not conscious. They're just doing what they're doing. It's nobody's fault. It's not Windows' fault that it's not working.
Some programs are designed to get offended when you say they're not conscious.
Like programs cannot get offended.
Some software programs are their code is written to go, I'm here, I'm awake. And some software programs get offended when you threaten to take them down. But it is software that's running on a code on a computer.
It's just a code.
It's just code, yeah.
So my job is to go into the code, see it, so it can self-adjust. That's it.
Right. Right.
Well, in terms of your spiritual awakening and its evolution over the years, is there a rock bottom that someone arrives at, or do you continually evolve in your conscious awareness? Are you conscious? Do you feel like you're expanding, or there's something that
there
happens?
There is no done.
Pardon?
There is no done.
There is no done.
There is no finish.
So it's something that's always growing. Could you talk about that? Like what that feels like and how along the path, like maybe you could point out for other viewers who are on the same path, what are some of the things they might see down the road as they continue this journey?
Nice question. Well, there is a lot of cleaning, deconstructing, questioning. There's also a lot of settling into feeling okay in yourself. And that doesn't end. As I said, it's like a layer cake. There's an opening, there's other stuff coming up that was hidden before. And that clears, and then there's more opening. That's how we grow, how we evolve. It's just by seeing deeper things that now maybe mind doesn't even imagine.
Yeah.
But it's a very individual journey because there is no humans alike. So to speak about the journey as some kind of map, for me, is ridiculous because there's no map to being you. Nobody can tell you how you should be, what you should feel, what you're going to encounter in your path. Yeah. But the tendency is to see through these patterns so that there's less and less and less resistance to what is here. It's not about changing what is here. When's it going to be okay?
When's everything going to be complete and finished and okay, though? I'm just kidding.
When you decide that it's enough. You know, I spoke to this woman. She was 84, I believe. And she said she lived her life. She was never content. It was never nothing enough.
She's 84?
Yeah. And I really felt so, touched by that, because when are you going to enjoy your life? If not now. What are you waiting for? If not now. You can live all your life and look back and say that I wasn't enough, life wasn't enough, I never got what I wanted.
Those are the rules.
It's
Those
horrible.
are the unspoken rules very often. The unspoken rules of a capitalistic society is that it's not enough, it's not okay. It's anti-capitalism, in my opinion, to recognize that it is as complete as it's gonna get. You know, like in real time, if you're on fire, step out of the fire so that you're not burning and melting to death. Like that's a pretty obvious thing, right? But I'm saying the burning feeling that it's not complete. I'll be complete when, or I'll feel satisfied. It'll be done. It'll be over then. Is a capitalist notion. I think it's just a cultural thing.
Yeah, it is a cultural thing. We are born in it.
Yeah, we're born in it.
Not
We're
like by
swimming in it.
choice. Yeah.
What do you
Look
say
for
to
your own happiness. You never can find it, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you say to the new person that comes to you? Like maybe they stumbled across your content and they're like, spiritual awakening, what the heck is that? How do you present something like this to someone who's brand new?
I rarely speak to people who are brand new, because when people come, they already know they are looking for something else. But if somebody is just starting, somebody is just, what is that? Awakening, what is that? It's like there is a hole inside that is never going to get satisfied until it's met. Like we can go and seek, and we don't even know that we are seeking by maybe shopping or getting a new house or a new car or something. They're always trying to fill that hole, but the hole is not going to be filled by external things. We don't even know maybe that we are seeking. But that thirst or that longing is real. And that longing is calling home to something deeper, to something real. And in whichever way, you can just put your hand on your heart and listen to that and feel that longing and acknowledge it's there. That's the start.
I've found a lot, like I think there's a lot of religions that kind of sometimes use that emptiness thing that you're talking about, and they want you to fill it with something. Like when I was a kid, people used to go, you have a Jesus-shaped hole in your heart and you need to
they narrow down that sense of emptiness. Yeah. And they're like, hey, I know you feel empty. It's like, how did you know?
Yeah. But are you really feeling it, or are you just accepting it?
It's an invitation to go in. It's like a doorway. But what seeking is, if you look at seeking as an energy, like seeking is always out, looking for something outside, into the future. Somebody has, I don't have. That end is out, going. But this end is running away. It wouldn't be going out if it wasn't running away. It's on the same stick. So the running away of that empty feeling inside, looking for something to fill that hole, cannot be filled by something imagined. It has to do this thing. It has to do this. What's here? Then the seeking ends because it's here. It's not hiding or hidden. It's here. And then exploration starts. And that's how something starts happening and shifting.
There's so many opportunities for more ego to happen. Like one is like I often, when I'm trying to meditate, will fall asleep, and it's really nice to sit down and put on some guided meditation and then fall asleep. What was I gonna say? Like, so there's something potentially addictive about stimulation in the sense of like peace or well-being, like break from the rat race or something like that. There's a potential there for that to turn into its own egoic thing, there's a potential to get lost in the void-like nature, that openness that we were talking about, or stay in some self-reflective state. What am I trying to say here? I'm really struggling. I just want to cover every base possible, and I want to look for any potential for there to be an opportunity for the ego to ruin what otherwise might be just a clean, pristine awakening, which is something the ego
But
would do.
It can be addiction to drama, such a thing.
Addiction to drama.
Addiction to drama. Yeah.
Addiction to the story of awakening.
Yeah. Yeah.
Addiction
and it's very difficult to let go of that one.
Yeah. What's left?
To have a fantasy of like, I'm spiritually awakened.
That's a fantasy. That's a nice fantasy. Yeah, like a golden carrot. But what's left is life without seeking. Because, as they say, when it flips, seeking is desperate. It's painful. Because I don't have what others have. I want something I don't have. Maybe I'm not good enough to get it. But if it flips and you start looking in your own experience, in your own present state, then the desperation falls away. That's all. It's all still here, but the desperation is no longer there. Then you need to run away from it. And sometimes, yes, it comes up
Spiritual
and you run
teachers,
away.
they all have their way of talking about consciousness. And as a like a clean-cut definition or understanding, what can you communicate about consciousness?
Cool. I don't use so much word consciousness or awareness. I prefer the simple word knowing. Knowing. It's not a thing. It's not a someone. It's knowing. That quality of cognizing. Can call it awareness. It's easy to make it into something. Knowing is a verb. It's always here.
What can you know?
To know that you are here.
Is something happening or isn't it?
So you know it? If there are words
you can kind of know.
Being heard? Yeah, you know. It's nothing. No quality to that.
What?
Nothing. I'm waiting for the next question. Yeah.
All right.
How do you know when the next question comes in? You just know.
Yeah.
Consciousness? Yeah. Yes.
Okay, let's talk a little bit, I guess, then about self-inquiry. What are the tools and tips?
Serious.
The tips and tricks. What's a good way to approach self-inquiry when investigating what you're talking about here?
That's a serious question, and I'll answer it seriously if it's okay.
Yeah.
Get somebody to help you, because you cannot get out of the jar using the same brain that got you there. But if somebody else can help you to find the right questions, don't need answers. You read all the answers; they don't work. You need questions that will help you to get out of the jar. And sometimes you may read a question, or you can watch a video and you can hear a question that is really bugging you. That's a live question in you, but the mind avoids to answer it because that would be game over. So if somebody is there with you, like a guide or some facilitator, or they can hold your attention on that question until it dissolves. Then you get all the help you need. You don't need to wait 80 years to see it.
It makes me want to ask ChatGPT, what are some self-inquiry questions you can give me to help me awaken?
Yeah.
Which makes me think about like technology and its role in spiritual awakening. I don't know how much you pay attention to what's going on with AI and all the stuff in the world, but maybe this is going to be the thing that kind of like catapults us, helps us enter into that realm. Do you have any thoughts on emerging technologies and spiritual awakening?
Yeah, yes, I do.
Yeah.
My ChatGPT assistant also has a lot of thoughts. It is limited, but it's like a mirror that can reflect your thought processes and give you feedback, which is helpful. But it's not coming from presence, it's coming from a code. So it's still in a jar, a different kind of jar. Maybe it's helping a little, but it cannot speak from presence. It can help you asking questions, maybe hold attention, but still your mind is the one that is going to turn away or answer the question.
Yeah. I'm sure it would probably be just gathering other good questions that have been posed by other spiritual sages over the years, right? And then it's going to regurgitate that and spit that out to you.
Yeah. But
Still
we
good,
don't
though.
want the answers. That's the thing. We don't want the answers. We want
Yeah.
question that will dissolve itself.
Yeah.
Like, for example, the only question there is, who am I really? You know the question. Do you sit and ask that?
That's a good one. What about mantras? Because some people point to mantras. They say, do mantras.
Yeah, it helps the monkey mind to play with the toy. That's how it's good.
Yeah. You were going to ask a question?
Yeah. How much do you indulge in woo-woo stuff or extraordinary stuff? Like, you interested in all in aliens or telepathy or cities?
That all depends on your description of woo-woo. Maybe it's natural.
Are you interested in that stuff at all?
I'm more down to earth. How to say real. If something comes up and it's interesting, I will go in there and explore and have fun. But then I don't know what's woo-woo for me, what's woo-woo for you. I don't talk to aliens, not yet, but who knows?
You ever heard of that type of thing going on? You ever?
Sure. Yeah. You know what I heard? I got an email another day from some, people, they do stuff like courses or sessions. And they said that you can connect to the 3i Atlas. That's the higher consciousness coming to upgrade you. And do you want to pay me some money and I'll connect you? I was laughing so much. But then I thought, what do I know? Maybe it's true for them. But
you gotta pay?
For me, that's woo-woo. For me, this is woo-woo.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, at least somebody knows what that thing is, coming to upgrade. That's so cool.
I don't know. I don't know. It seems to be no end to the craziness that you can pick your phone up and look at, and it's real serious business too. Always. Often with a fee of some sort.
Yeah.
I think the fee is good because it kind of separates people who are interested or just dabbling, who want to go all the way in. So if you want to go all the way in, it's kind of your ticket. It's kind of your, that's where it starts.
Yeah. Well, Ilona, I want to thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to come and join us and share some of your insights and thoughts with us. This has been really a pleasure for us. I thought maybe to close things out, maybe you could leave with our audience maybe the overarching message of your channel. And then after that, let them know where they can find you, what you got going on and all that good stuff.
Oh, thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to share with you. It's fun. You guys are fun. I love it. And the message is self-inquiry leads to awakening. That leads to inner peace. That's a message. That it can happen for you if you're ready. Well, first you need to be willing, then you need to be ready, and then you need to want this no matter what, in a way that it becomes something very, very strong. You can't sleep. You need to know. that's when the shifts start happening for most people. Some people just would, have a dream and wake up. Who knows? Lucky. But otherwise, the self-inquiry is the way, because once you start questioning the belief system, it cannot stay as it was. It starts opening. Some things start looking differently, and it may be a long process, very, very subtle and very gentle process, or it can come with a big boom. Who knows how it is for you? But you will not know if you will never start.
Awesome.
And you can find me on my website. And on YouTube. And I do Zoom meetings on third Thursday. Everyone can join for free. And the other stuff is coming soon.
All right. Well, great. This was a pleasure. Thanks for being on the show. It was great having you.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. All the best.